A Vermont social worker is dead, shot as she left work in Barrie Friday afternoon.
Anna, we're hearing that there may have been an exchange of gunfire, possibly between Richard, Matt, and police. Are your sources telling you anything about that?
Wait until you see this video. Below freezing temperatures, gusty winds, and wind chills near zero occurred on Mount Washington today. At times this morning, weather observers even stepped outside to remove large chunks of ice from our deck railing. Not your average June day in the Northeast. Well, Nick, clearly it has not felt like June around here.
Quick Google search will teach you everything you could possibly want to know about hash oil. Watch enough of these videos and it becomes clear the dangerous lengths that some people are willing to go to get high.
And on to a much different topic, a rare glimpse at an endangered species in our region. Well, here's one you don't hear every day. Officials in New York's North Country are dealing with a poop problem, an increase in human waste showing up along the trails of the Ausable River. It's something we all own. Why some bosses say cell phones are affecting work productivity. According to the health department, the number of fentanyl-related deaths is rising in Vermont.
So, Scott, we had heard the governor speak just seconds ago. What was your reaction? He says the numbers look good. He's not declaring victory. You're not conceding.
Well, school is out for many kids across our region. The team on the 30 is looking for ways to keep your kids learning. Fun ways, of course, and Keith is here with a preview. Thanks for sending in that shot. Now, will those clouds bring more rain today? Nick is back with the forecast on the weekend. Turns out it's a pretty plant with some pretty bad side effects. A young woman who says she was sexually assaulted by a Vermont state senator spent several hours today in the witness chair. And of course, leafies, we're always looking for them. You can send them to news@WCAX.com. A scary scene outside a South Burlington school today when a construction project went bad. Around 9 this morning, firefighters responded to a 911 call at the Orchard School.
Overnight, activity did die down, although the troopers did remain out here on the scene, checking trunks and talking to drivers. They are still here today, and you can see the traffic is certainly picking up.
But now that officer is facing charges himself. So during the commercial break, our debate continues about hot versus cold weather.
Yeah.
And I'm not backing down. I still really like the hot weather. We were invited inside the courtroom as one family closes the chapter on a betrayal at home. It's a story you'll only see on Channel 3. It still hurts, though, for Celtics fans.
It's going to be a rough season down at the Garden.
All right, thanks, Mike. They were hoping to cut off the escapees before they got to Canada. Our Keith McGilvery is standing by with more. Keith, what can you tell us? A day of action to protect the environment and stop natural gas production. So we'll just take it a month at a time, lose that daylight little by little. And that's where we find our Gina Bullard tonight. Gina, are you toasting to this assignment or what? Here's a look at the State Fair in Rutland in 1918. Good morning. It's 7 a.m. I'm Jennifer Costa.
And I'm Nick Burley, and what a day we have to look forward to. I mean, last night was perfect for sleeping. Temps in the 70s by this afternoon.
Nice.
How's that sound?
No one's going to complain.
Yeah, so let's take a look outside real quick.
Well, we begin with new information this morning about a plane crash in the Adirondacks. New York State Police say 4 people were killed last night when their aircraft went down just north of the Adirondack Airport in Lake Clear around 6:30. So far, police do not know what caused the crash, and they're still working to identify the victims. The FAA and NTSB will be on scene this morning to continue that investigation. The Department for Children and Families is reeling this morning after one of its social workers was shot and killed Friday afternoon as she left her office in Barrie. Police say the suspect was a mother who recently lost custody of her child. Kyle Madura has the latest. We also have new video this morning from a police chase that ended in a crash. This was the scene in Georgia late last night after police say 27-year-old Brendan Burno hit another car on Route 7. Both cars flipped. The St. Albans man and the other driver were not seriously hurt. Police say the chase started in South Burlington, where Burno allegedly got onto Interstate 89 and started speeding at more than 100 miles per hour. Those speeds continued off exit 17 and onto Route 7. Police say their pursuit ended in Milton. Burno is now charged with DUI and could face other charges. A Concord father and daughter killed in a New Hampshire circus tent collapse were remembered last night with a candlelight vigil. Mike Cronin was there. 1,000 to 10,000 gallons of untreated sewage leaked into the East Creek in Rutland. That's the latest estimate from Vermont environmental officials. They say the seal on an abandoned sewer pipe that runs under the creek at the West Street Bridge apparently failed. That creek empties into the Otter Creek. The city's Public Works Commissioner says the sewage is no longer leaking this morning. A permanent fix will get underway Monday. Residents are being encouraged to stay out of the water until at least the middle of next week. Well, if you are a maritime enthusiast, the Queen City has a festival for you. The 9th annual Lake Champlain Maritime Festival started Thursday and runs through the weekend along the Burlington waterfront. Celebrating the lake, of course, is the main objective, but the festival also offers a variety of crafts, activities, and boats.
The Maritime Festival is really unique because we celebrate the lake and we encourage stewardship of the lake and recreation, responsible recreation of the lake.
Today you can catch the Vintage Boat Show. It runs all day. There's also a parade at 4 p.m. at the Burlington Boathouse. And Nick, that's a popular event. Lots of people head downtown for that. What are they going to be facing out there today?
You know, I don't think they're going to have any problems today. Really kind of more the same, you know. No big heat, and you'll know it is still going to be active with the exception of today and tomorrow, so we'll take it.
Moral of the forecast, get out and enjoy this weekend.
Yes.
All right, thank you, Nick.
You bet.
Well, up next on the weekend, it's a plant you're going to want to avoid if you head outdoors today. Find out why sunshine makes this wild parsnip dangerous to our skin in At Issue. And check out this beautiful sky over Ludlow. John Freedom shared this photo just as a storm passed and the sun was setting. Thank you for starting your morning with us right here on The Weekend. With the click of a mouse, you can find sex for sale anywhere in Vermont.
There's a lot of it. We could set up a date in 15 minutes.
Detective Trooper Matt Hill shows us just how easy it is.
And call overnights.
If you know where to look. Pimps advertise online through websites like Backpage. It's similar to Craigslist with a section just for the sex trade. There are hundreds of ads for every major town in Vermont, and the buyers here are lining up.
You can kind of tell some of the local ones, like this girl, she's that same girl. Just tough life, tough kid.
Not only is it illegal to pay for sex, most of these women are also victims of human trafficking, runaways, addicts, or illegal immigrants, held against their will and raped, while their traffickers rake in cash from Vermonters.
Not only do we have a problem, we have a bad problem.
Here's Shelburne.
The ad promises an Asian paradise, directing customers to a world of ecstasy at Oasis Hot Stone. In November, police raided the Shelburne massage parlor for alleged human trafficking. 6 months later, its website advertises new management.
I'm Jennifer from Channel 3.
We wanted to know what happens behind closed doors.
Can men pay for sex here?
No.
The woman who answered the bell denied illegal activity and says she only offers Swedish and shiatsu massage. Police tell us the spa is still under investigation.
The sex trade's still happening there.
Yeah, I'm sure it is. We know that the victims that we took out of there are not the same victims that are there now.
Is it an invisible crime hidden in plain sight? So far, no criminal charges have been filed. Jennifer Costa, Channel 3 News, Shelburne.
I feel like I have to take a shower like 6 times a day, and I still feel gross.
22-year-old Megan McCarthy is a victim of human trafficking. 1 year after police freed her from her alleged pimp, this young Vermonter is still healing.
What does that do to somebody's soul?
It kills it. Like, I'll never be the same person again.
Like many human trafficking victims sold into the sex trade, Megan was a heroin user and says her pimp used that addiction to control her. She spent 30 days confined in a hotel room, forced to have sex for money. Only her trafficker pocketed the cash, about $1,000 a day. She was scared, alone, and ashamed her life took such a turn. It was a far fall from the white picket fence of her childhood.
I would just cry and like think about how I wanted to go home and, how I got to that point, like all the things I did wrong.
They'll say things like, hey, you're paying for my time, we're just here to talk.
Detective Trooper Matt Hill spends his days scouring the internet for sex ads. He's trained to recognize human trafficking and compares it to modern-day slavery.
This guy's keeping them in control through violence, through drug addiction, through isolation.
His warning to parents, Megan could be your daughter. He says addiction doesn't discriminate and escaping the life is really hard.
It could take a year or two for them just to get emotionally stable enough to sit down and talk to me without just coming undone. The amount of trauma that they experience when we talk about sex trafficking is immense.
It's something that happens around here. It's something that's awful. It's not something we choose.
Megan is trying to stay clean, making amends with her parents.
Yo, this is it? Where's the rest?
And working with the feds on a PSA to spare other young Vermonters from enduring similar trauma.
Hey, I don't want girls that are in this situation.
You are so worthless.
And are coming out of this situation to ever feel like they're alone.
Jennifer Costa.
He's really great.
Channel 3 News.
Right?
Time is running out.
Tina Doyle has leukemia. Cancer forced her to quit her job. Disability benefits don't cover her bills, and in less than a year, she'll lose her home.
The financial strain has been terrible.
For the first time in her life, Doyle applied for subsidized public housing and Section 8 rental assistance. Demand for these programs is high, vacancies are low, and the waiting lists are astounding.
8 to 10 years?
We operate by a set of rules that we have very little control over.
Paul Detman runs Burlington's Housing Authority. He says there are roughly 1,700 low-income applicants waiting for rental assistance in the Queen City. Yet a recent nationwide audit of the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development, or HUD, found thousands of families living in government-subsidized housing with incomes exceeding program limits, some earning 6 figures, like this family of 3 in Burlington, or this family of 4 in Winooski. In total, the Office of the Inspector General identified 25 cases of over-income in Vermont, and the practice is completely legal.
If there's a unit that is occupied by someone who doesn't need it, then obviously it's not available to someone who does need it. There's someone on the waiting list that could use that unit, yes.
HUD only requires families to meet eligibility income limits when they are admitted into the public housing program. There is no cap on how long they can stay or how much they can earn. Proponents argue mixing high earners with low-income tenants brings economic diversity to these neighborhoods, and evicting them would only make a small dent in waiting lists.
Our system is just not right.
For Doyle, it's baffling that someone making 6 figures can stay when she's facing homelessness. Jennifer Costa, Channel 3 News.
Well, this is just a green tea, and I got charged tax right here.
Chiro Umazaki is a stickler.
It's a huge problem
for checking his grocery receipts.
Well, I think it's just really annoying for me to waste my time just get a couple cents back at the stores.
He says these receipts prove stores are taxing customers on beverages exempt from Vermont's soft drink sales tax. The tax is supposed to charge consumers extra for buying beverages that contain a variety of sweeteners. It took effect July 1st, but Umazaki says stores are still getting it wrong, taxing him on drinks like unsweetened tea and seltzer water.
So how many people do you think this is happening to?
I think it's happening to everybody.
We want a fair playing field, so everybody should be charging the same.
Vermont's tax commissioner admits navigating taxable beverages under the soft drink definition is tricky, leaving many retailers and consumers in the dark.
It's definitely confusing.
To make it easier, the tax department created this cheat sheet with examples of exemptions. We used it as a shopping list at supermarkets and co-ops, putting them to the test. Not many got it right. Shaw's taxed coffee drinks like Starbucks Frappuccino, a milk product that's supposed to be tax-free. Dasani Seltzer tripped up Price Chopper. You can't tax carbonated water. Burlington's City Market missed the mark on Sap Maple Water and Runia Zero, an unsweetened tea. Hannaford was the standout, correctly coding every item we tested.
So what are a few of the drinks that are less obvious that should not be taxed? Any fruit drink containing more than 50% juice. Beverage concentrates like Kool-Aid, even though the first ingredient is sugar. Water flavor enhancers, and any drink that contains milk.
We tried to track down the money. Lawmakers estimated the tax would bring in $5 million a year, but the tax department doesn't track it.
We have a T.
And could not tell us how much revenue it actually rakes in.
So we really can't pinpoint exactly how much has come from this change.
And while the department does periodically audit grocers, it's not specifically checking for compliance with the soda tax.
And asking again and again, please talk to the manager, fix that problem. It's not been fixed.
As for Umazaki, he's not giving up.
Now you know.
Even if it's just pennies, he demands a refund.
When it's accumulated, it's going to be like huge amounts of money.
Each time he's bogusly taxed.
Now, WCAX Investigates got results since we confronted the grocery stores about our findings. All three changed the coding in their computer systems, so customers will no longer be taxed incorrectly for buying beverages like these.